night on the South today. The Burt Munro Challenge roared into high gear over the weekend, finishing up with street races. A Christchurch church is looking for help from the community to help get its rebuild back on track. And striped suits were the clothes of choice in Queenstown for this competition based on bluffing. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. Southlanders of all ages have been hitting the streets over the last week as the Burt Munro Challenge revved into action. The Invercargill street races wrapped up the 5-day event on Sunday, ensuring it finished on a high after crashes earlier in the week caused concern for organisers.
Riders boosting their way through the streets of Invercargill to close out the Burt Munro Challenge. Thousands turned out to get close to the action for the traditional street racing, and after some damp weather in the early days of Challenge Week, sunny weather over the weekend made it a must-see in Invercargill.
This is a favourite. Now, this is bringing the race to the people. The people, you look how close they are to this. Fantastic.
The street races saw competitors from across the country taking part. Organisers also welcomed multiple Isle of Man race winner Bill Swallow from the UK, who had a bold opinion on the New Zealand tracks.
Transition from road racing over in Europe to this is amazing, because it's just like running around a car park. You know?
Police say the crowds were great over the 5 days. They were able to spread a message of safety after the accidents earlier in the week.
And what better opportunity could we have to engage with riders, try and deliver some safety messages. And I know safety and motorcycling don't necessarily go hand in hand. It is a high risk business that we all love and doing.
The 2023 event's been labelled a huge success, with some of the biggest numbers it's ever seen. However, organisers will be looking into better safety measures for future years after the crashes during the Bluff Hill climb in Invercargill, the South today.
Hundreds of people lined the sand dunes along Dunedin's St Kilda beach on Saturday to catch a glimpse of the Royal New Zealand Air Force Black Falcons as they soared through the sky. Dunedin was the first stop on a 3-venue tour of the South Island skies, continuing on to Christchurch for an afternoon display before finishing up in Kaikoura on Sunday. The aerobatic team began their gravity-defying performance at 10:30 on Saturday morning. Spectators enjoyed watching as the pilots performed a number of classic aerial manoeuvres, leaving the crowd stunned at some of the more dangerous stunts. Members of a church in Christchurch are asking locals for help in getting their rebuild back on track. The Coptic Orthodox Church lost their place of worship when it was destroyed in the September 2010 earthquake.
Members of a Christchurch church are asking Cantabrians for help in getting their rebuild back on track. The Coptic Orthodox Church lost their place of worship when it was destroyed in the September 2010 earthquake. There's around 60 families in the local parish. They've been using a temporary site for services while their new building is constructed.
Includes 6 domes as a traditional in the Coptic Church to build the church in 3 forms, like a cross.
The Coptic Orthodox Church is a Christian religion that originated in Egypt and is one of the oldest denominations in the world. In 2012, church members bought the former Maryvale Papanui Rugby Club rooms next to Nunweek Park. Building work began shortly after to construct this unique Coptic-style church alongside. However, rising construction costs have stalled the expensive rebuild.
It's cost us 150,000 until now, but we need more support to cover the domes.
And while this open-air view is impressive on a fine summer's day, Father Ibrahim says they urgently need $500,000 to install a roof. The parish is keen to build something beautiful for the city of Christchurch.
I think this building will be the icon for Christchurch. And I think some people will come to see the new design.
A total of $3 million is needed to complete the entire project before services can be held there. Supporters can donate through an online Give a Little page, with funds going towards completing the unfinished church building. In Christchurch, the South today.
A fishing boat needed some help getting out of the Otago harbour this afternoon after those on board managed to get themselves stranded. The Northern Odyssey ran into trouble around 1:30 this afternoon after getting trapped on the edge of a channel near St Leonards. Another boat came to the rescue, fellow fishing vessel Blue Moves, towing the Northern Odyssey to deeper waters. No crew were hurt and there was no damage to the vessel, although it's still unclear how the boat got stuck in the first place. An entourage of Ford Model T enthusiasts are travelling the country and following in the tyre tracks of a prolific driver. The motorists parked up their vintage vehicles at the historic Brookfield home near Weston last Friday ahead of a 6-day journey. It's the 30th tour of the National Model T Club of New Zealand. The drivers are getting behind the wheels of their classic Fords, including vintage cars from the 1910s to 1930s. They're recreating the trip Oamaru Ford dealer Fred Dennison made back in 1913.
He went from Oamaru to Milton to, where'd we go, Queenstown, Mount Cook, over the Lindis, Tekapo, Twizel, and then back to Oamaru in 6 days. And we're trying to recreate that where we can.
More than 30 cars are taking part in the tour, which is expected to end for most drivers on Wednesday. A guessing game with class took over a Frankton cafe recently for Queenstown's annual Spoofing Championships. International representatives joined in for the 19th year of the event, but it was a first-timer who claimed top prize.
It's high stakes for these gentlemen in pinstripes, taking part in the 18th annual Queenstown Spoofing Championships. This gambling game and sport is played around the world. Each spoofer in the group holds 0 to 3 coins in a clenched fist, and each round, players must try and guess the total number of collective coins without repeating a previous answer. Around 30 guys gathered over the weekend at the Boat Shed Cafe for a refined tournament of banter, camaraderie and spoofing.
So I reckon this is the most diverse group of spoofers we've had in the 19 years that we've had the Queenstown Spoofing Champs. We've got 2 from the UK, 2 from the US and 4 from Australia.
The blazers have a special significance for the spoofing community. They're only worn by players who have competed in a World Champs outside of their home country, with the coloured stripes drawn from the major rugby playing nations.
Gentlemen, we have 1 double world champion in our midst. We have 2 world champions in our midst. We have 1 Australian champion. We have 1 double New Zealand champion in our midst.
New Zealand's Greg McGaw was making his first appearance at the event, but managed to end the night by claiming his first ever championship title at the Queenstown Spoofing Champs in Queenstown, the South Today.
Whaiakane, still to come on the South Today. While the 57th Super Bowl takes the States by storm today, fans gather in Queenstown to catch the action, and another AMP show brings out both rural and town folk alike.
Garage Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garage quality service. Garage Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Spark your joy with Jazz, the next generation from Honda.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, we're Age Concern Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including little walks.
Aero, used by Australia's top bowlers with their unique Z-scoop grip that redefines the game. Machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy, Aero, same line, every time.
Great Britain has a collection of varied landscapes and countryside. to rival anywhere else in the world. And the best way to see it is to walk.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. The Central Otago AMP show set up camp in the Ormeco domain on Saturday, drawing in crowds from around the region. From pet goats to prize bulls, great weather and a strong turnout graced the show, with many entrants keen to sniff out a ribbon. Rural vehicles of all descriptions took part in a leisurely drive around the showgrounds, while a live polo match also proved popular. The face painting table was a hit with younger children, and judges reported the cattle competition was hotly contested. But many attendees were just content to enjoy the show while soaking up the fine weather. American tourists, working holiday makers and random football fans hit sports bars today to catch the 57th Super Bowl. The American football final stops the country in the United States, and many travellers in Queenstown were keen for a small taste of home.
Cheers and beers as American football fans checked into Queenstown bars at lunchtime to watch Super Bowl 57. The resort town hosts a diverse range of international workers and tourists, with sports fans from around the world coming together to watch the big football match between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Where do you guys come from today? England. England?
Argentina.
Los Angeles and Mississippi. Fans enjoying the chance to share their love for the sport. And here at the Locker Room Sports Bar, the rivalry was strong between fans of the two teams.
Oh, I'm supporting Kansas City.
Kansas City?
Yeah.
Eagles?
And Eagles.
Eagles?
Eagles all day. Kansas City.
And I just want to see Kansas City lose, really.
The Super Bowl is one of the biggest games on America's sporting calendar, and while visitors might be tens of thousands of kilometres from home, the tradition holds strong.
We just had to keep the tradition going, and we're used to it, and we know where to find party.
If they want to play man, they might be okay on the outside, but who is going to guard?
Bar goers relishing the closely fought battle, with the Kansas City Chiefs eventually triumphing over the Eagles after a game-winning field goal in the final seconds. In Queenstown, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Organisers say this year's Burt Munro Challenge was a success, but there'll be a fresh look at safety precautions. Christchurch's Coptic Orthodox Church is seeking help from the community to help get their church rebuild back on track. And a guessing game using 3 golden coins celebrated its 19th year as Queenstown hosted the Spoofing Championships. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the editor Barry Stewart. Hello Barry.
Hello Hannah.
And what can we expect tomorrow?
Well, Dunedin councillors have told the government to butt out over a plan to take yet more control over local councils. So a bit of an issue there over Resource Management Act. So read more about that in the paper tomorrow.
Okay.
And of course, a sudden change in funding regulations, leaving many to foot the bill for their COVID-19 related appointments has caused utter chaos, according to a doctor. So yes, confusion all round today when it was introduced.
Right.
So kept people, took people by surprise. We'll keep an eye on Auckland, of course. The storm is raging there, and we perhaps aren't at the peak, so we'll see how events unfold this evening. And a chink has finally emerged in the Queenstown property market. The price drops by 0.7%.
Wow.
Over the last quarter, so significant enough.
Yeah, thank you for sharing this evening. We look forward to reading.
Thank you.
And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, a ridge of high pressure will keep southern districts mostly fine this week, while bad weather continues to affect the North Island. Heading to the top of the South Island. Showers and gusty southeasterlies with 22 on the way tomorrow for Nelson. Fine with 24 over in Greymouth with strong winds. And down in Christchurch expect a cooler 18 degrees with rain and fresh easterlies. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago. Well, some rain up top for both Ashburton and Timaru, with showers turning to rain in spots along with highs of 18 degrees, while Oamaru should escape the wet weather, instead just getting some fresh winds and a cloudy 19 degrees. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes. Cloudy with light winds through here tomorrow. By numbers, 25 degrees in Wanaka, with Queenstown and Alexandra just behind with a high of 24 degrees. Heading further south. Cloudy skies through here tomorrow with light winds, and expect 20 in both Balclutha and Gore, and 19 degrees over in the Catlins. And down to the deep south. Fine and cool tonight in Invercargill, dropping down to 7 degrees. Now the next 2 days look sunny with light winds across Southland, up to 19 tomorrow in the city and 18 degrees midweek. And finally, heading to Dunedin. Cloudy with 15 as the overnight low. Into tomorrow, blue skies with cloud at times, along with fresh breezy northeasterlies, and the high will be 19 degrees. And then as Wednesday rolls around, so does the rain, although it should just be showers with fresh southerlies and up to 18 degrees as the high. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite opopo.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.